Babes, I went on one of the worst dates of my life recently. Here's the story time on it. So I had matched with this guy, let's call him Craig. He was very cute, tall, blue eyes, great body, owned his own business. He had a trucking company and he had this beautiful golden retriever. Obviously, I'm thinking, wow, this man has a dog. Clearly, he can't be a psychopath, right? I make it a point that I always FaceTime with people. If I'm going to allow them to be in my presence in person, then I need to make sure that we vibe first on FaceTime. We FaceTime. It's actually a very good conversation. We talk about a lot of stuff. We talk for maybe like an hour. He seems incredibly sweet, funny, witty. We have very similar humor. And he introduces me to his dog on the FaceTime. A+points. Off to a good start. We plan a date. We're going to go have drinks at this cute cocktail bar. And then afterwards, we're going to go to this high-end pizza restaurant that's near his place. He lives on the west side. I live on the opposite end of LA. I tell him to send me an Uber, which on a first date, I always make sure that I give them an address that's a street over in case I do end up being a crazy person. Day of the date comes, I get in the Uber and I text him that I'm on my way. He texts me back, am I going to get a little kiss from you when we meet? I'm like, presumptuous, sir. I'm already on my way. So I'm like, he better be joking. So I just say, no man has ever been so lucky. And I leave it at that. I arrive. He's waiting outside for me. I walk up. I give him a hug. Because he's so much taller than me, he kind of like lifts me up. And then he puts me back down and tilts my head up to look at him. And I'm looking up at him and I'm like, hello. And I'm like, is this man gonna actually diabolically try to kiss me right now within the first 3 seconds of meeting? Oh, he does. Because he leans down and I lean and I give him the cheek and I'm like, whoa, 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 sir. I don't know where you were raised, but that's not how we do things around here. And he starts laughing and he's like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm like, strike one. But I was just subjected to a 45-minute Uber in LA traffic, so I need to get a drink and then we will reassess what we're going to do next. We go inside the bar. It's cute. There's not a lot of people though. Craig is like, okay, let's go sit at that booth over there. It's the furthest one in the corner. This man is trying to take me to Egypt. I'm like, why are we sitting in the darkest corner of this bar away from all of civilization? And he's like, well, I just want some privacy so that we can really talk. I'm like, sweetie, this whole bar is private. There's nobody here. We go to the corner. We sit down. He slides into the booth next to me. And I'm very bubbly and chatty. So immediately I start talking about the horses that I saw in my Uber ride on the way here because I love horses. And I'm like, they were so cute, blah, blah, blah. He's like, wait. Just stop talking for a second. Did this man just tell me to shut up? And I look at him. I'm like, I know you did not just tell me to be quiet. And he's like, I'm sorry, no, I just want to absorb your presence really quick. So can we just like be in each other's aura for a second? I'm like, sure, but let's get one thing clear. Don't ever interrupt me or tell me to be quiet again. And he's like, okay, I'm sorry. We sit there and he puts his arm around and he starts touching this shoulder bone. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I just love how lean you are. I'm like, bitch, I am not a piece of meat. And he's like, yeah, you're just so tiny. Like, I just didn't expect you to be so tiny. And I'm like, yeah, well, I didn't expect you to be so forward. So at this point, I'm obviously debating if I'm going to leave, but I need to get a drink first because I have just spent almost an hour in the car and now I'm being subjected to this man. So let's have a drink, sis, decompress, and then we can revisit what we're going to do next. Waiter comes, I order a whiskey on the rocks. Craig orders some fruity ass drink. And he's like, wow, I didn't take you as a whiskey girl. And I said, well, I didn't take you as a fruity ass drink guy, but here we are, Craig. And he did not like that. And I was laughing. Drinks come, we're chatting. I ask him about his business and he tells me that one of his trucks had caught fire and he pulls up his phone to show me a photo of it. When he pulls his phone out, I see boom, 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 3 notifications. Bumble, Meet Cute, Raya, whatever. All the dating apps just start blasting on his phone. People are super liking him, and setting his ass on fire. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, bro, really? And he's like, sorry, I forgot to turn the notifications off for our date. My bad. Did you turn yours off? And I was like, I never have notifications on for Hinge in general. I don't care and I barely check that thing anyway. So we have our drink. Obviously, I've already made up my mind that I'm never going to see this man again, but I'm debating on whether I still want him to get me dinner because I am really hungry. At this point, I'm like, well, clearly we're here just doing it for the lore, so let's just roll along with it and see what happens. He's like, okay, our reservation is 10 minutes. We can walk there. It's right down the corner. Let's go. We walk. I am in the world's worst heels that I had just bought, these new Louboutins. It is insane that shoes can be so expensive and not be made for comfort because we get to the restaurant and my feet are screaming at me. We walk up to the host stand. He gives his name. The host is like, okay, it's just going to be like 3 or 4 minutes. He's like, great. He walks and stands next to the host stand. And I go, I'm going to sit down. My feet hurt. So I turn. This man grabs me by the arm and spins me around. And he's like, no, you can wait up here with me. I was shooketh to my core. And there were people around us. And I looked at him and I said, take your hands off me right now. Or so help me God, I will scream and make a scene. He takes his hand off of me. I go sit down. I am fuming. I'm like, okay, clearly the food is not worth this. I am going to tell this man that I am going home. He walks over and he's like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh no, you are dead to me now. And he's like, look, I'm really sorry. It's just that I paid for drinks, we paid for your Uber, I'm gonna pay for dinner. The least you can do is stand up at the host stand with me. I said, I don't owe you a damn thing. If my feet hurt and I wanna sit down, I have the autonomy to do so. And you should not be telling anyone what they can and can't do in general. I start kind of going off on him. I'm like, you are a chauvinistic, controlling freak. And it's no wonder that you have to be on so many dating apps so that you can find someone that will spend time with you. I'm kind of getting loud, and he's like, okay, keep your voice down. I'm like, again, you're telling me what to do. And he's like, look, I'm really, really sorry. He's like, I am just used to women that are a little bit more docile. I'm like, ew, is that what you're looking for? And he's like, well, you're just very sassy. I'm like, oh, God forbid a woman have opinions and want autonomy. And he's like, look, let's just go inside and have a nice dinner. I promise that I'll behave. I'm like, I want to go home. I can't believe that I even let this go as far as it has. He's like, look, let me just feed you. Now, I am starving at this point and pretty sure that I hope that this man falls off of a cliff. But I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to rack up a bill on this motherfucker, let him feed me, and then I will dos vidanos and never speak to him again. We go sit down. He's like, oh, this meat lovers thing looks great. I'm like, dude, I've already told you that I'm pescatarian. He's like, wait, so that means you don't eat meat? I'm like, I don't eat land animals. And he's like, oh, that must be why you're so lean. I'm like, I get a margarita and a mushroom. I asked the girl about wine. She's telling us about wine. And he's like, oh, I don't drink wine. And I specifically chose a red wine that only came as a bottle, knowing that this was only going to be for myself and I was probably only going to have one glass. And it is one of the most expensive ones. I look at him and I said, well, I want to get this one and it only comes by the bottle. And he's like, well, I'm not going to drink that. And I'm like, and I don't see what your point is. He sees that I'm not to be trifled with. So he looks at the waitress and he's like, sure. I'm sitting there and I'm just fuming, but I want to eat my food, drink my wine and get out of there. But you know what? Let's have a little fun while we're here. So I look at the man and I'm like, are you looking for some housewife that's just going to agree with everything that you say? And he's like, well, I just believe that the man should be the leader. What 1940s BS is this? I'm like, I'm sorry. Were you raised in a convent? What are you talking about? And he's like, well, I just believe that the woman should follow the man's lead because I really like that dynamic. I'm like, oh, so you want a trad wife? And he's like, what's a trad wife? I'm like, a traditional wife. And he's like, well, yeah, I like the traditional values in that sense. I'm like, yeah, and who did you vote for? And he's like, we probably shouldn't talk about politics. I'm like, you know what? That told me everything I needed to know. He's like, you are staring daggers at me. I'm like, yeah, because I dislike you greatly. Like, has no one ever told you that? He's like, look, I understand that my standards are really high. I'm like, no, your standards aren't high. Your standards are ridiculous because your standards belong back in the year the Constitution was written, sir. This is 2025. This is not how we do things around here. The food comes. I'm eating angrily. He's like, well, I guess that you're not one to obey. I'm like, obey? I am not a dog, sir. So I start yelling at him in the middle of this restaurant because I cannot contain my anger any longer. I'm like, you're someone that is the reason that this country is going to hell in a handbag because you are trying to revert us to a time where women didn't have rights. Because you're so insecure that you want to feel some sort of superiority over people that have less rights than you. And that's why you're alone, and you deserve to be alone. People are kind of looking at us, and I do not care. And I'm like, give me your phone, I'm calling myself an Uber. And he's like, what? No, our date's not done yet. And I said, call me an Uber, or give me your phone, or so help me God, I will make sure that the people down the street hear how I feel about you, with how loud my volume can get. He's like, okay, I'm calling you an Uber right now. He calls me an Uber. I stand up to leave. As I'm walking past him to go to my Uber, he's like, well, I guess that you won't get to see how well endowed I am. I look at him and I say, do the world a favor, take yourself off the dating apps so that no other woman has to ever be subjected to you. I get into the Uber. I Zelle request him $500 with a memo that says for emotional damage. And then I block him and I never speak to him again. And yes, he did fill the Zelle request.
I need to say this out loud because I just can't believe that it actually happened. So I went on a date last week with a guy and the date didn't go good. He was just giving hater number one, like couldn't be happy for anything that I said or anything that I was doing, didn't give me like a single compliment or anything. There's so much more to it that I'll explain if somebody wants because it's honestly really bad. But after the date, I just decided like he was so fucking rude. I don't really owe him to talk to him again. So I stopped talking to him and that was 5 days ago. Then yesterday he DM'd me a video on TikTok. He doesn't even follow me on TikTok or anything. And it was this guy talking about how all women are crazy and we act through emotions and we just can't think logically because we're such emotional beings. And when you sign up to be a boyfriend, that's what you're signing up for. You're not signing up to be a therapist or listen to your girlfriend's cries for help. And I was just like, I can't believe he sent that to me. Like that's really weird, right?
So this guy that I went on one date with, that was literally the worst date ever, keeps texting me, and I honestly got annoyed with it, so I decided to end it. So let me read the text messages, because So he texts me, "Hey, just thinking about the date we had. I haven't stopped smiling. When can I see you again?" I said, "That's wild, because I haven't stopped cringing." He said, "LOL, you play too much." Everything I said he thought was a joke. He said, "I know you was feeling me when I said I got my own LLC." I said, "Boy, like I said at the restaurant, your LLC probably stands for lame, lost, and confused. And you tried to flex by drop shipping a store with zero inventory." He said, "Wow, I got goals though. You said you like ambitious men," which I did, because I like a man with goals. I said, "Ambition is cute, but you spent our whole date talking about getting rich off of nonsense topics, and then your phone was cracked like your delusions." When I say his phone was cracked, it was shattered from top to bottom. I thought he was going to cut his finger every time he pulled it out. I was honestly concerned for him. He said, "Ayo, relax. I was just trying to have a good combo. You don't got to be mean." I said, "You tried to convince me that Drake is your cousin and that you got industry ties. Then, when your card got declined, you said it was Apple Pay hating. Please be serious." I'm gonna just blame it on him being light skinned, because when he tried to say like, "Oh yeah, Drake is, yeah, that's my cousin, bro. It's the family." He tried to break it down how he in the family and how like he really know people in the industry. And okay, he said, "All right, so you clowning me now. I'm a good dude for real. You'll regret this." I said, "You're not a good dude. You're a grown man who said, 'Can I have a sip?' and reach for my drink with 2 hands." If anybody knows me knows I'm a freaking germaphobe. I don't know this man. I got me a freaking drink. I forgot what I got. It was some type of mix, like little frozen drink. Gave it a little decoration. He had the nerve to try to grab my drink and take a sip out of it before my lips even touched it. Mind you, I'm pretty sure he got like a Shirley Temple or something. He said, "LOL, you dead wrong, but damn, I thought we vibed." I said, "You vibed, I endured, like a survivor on Naked and Afraid." Because I just really thought like that was like a funny thing. Like you was vibing, I was suffering. He said, "Okay, now you acting brand new. You're not even all that to be talking to me like this." And I said, "You're not even regular. You're literally below average, and you have the confidence like you're a celebrity. You're delusional." He said, "Bet, you got jokes, but you probably still lonely AF. That's why you built like a door and you still single." I said, "Built like a door? Baby, you're shaped like a question mark and you still think you're the answer. Be safe, love," with a heart. And he didn't answer. But if y'all want more of these messages, let me know.
I cannot make this up. I cannot make this up. Imagine, first date with a man. You hit it off. Great energy. Date runs long. And you have a graduation party to get to. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, you want to come with me to my homegirl's graduation party? He's like, okay, yeah, sure. But I don't want to show up empty-handed, so we stop at the Target. Another green flag, because we've been hitting it off. Okay, great. We stop at Target. He gets her a card. We go to the graduation party. I introduce him to my friend. Cool. We go to my car. We're getting into my car. He's saying like, "Oh yeah, can you drop me off at the mall?" Like whatever. Fine, because he allegedly Ubered an hour to get to me because he lives far out, not in the city. This man gets in my car. All of a sudden, a woman comes up out of the blue. I don't know where this woman was. She comes up and she yanks open my passenger side door. She's like, "What the F are you doing? Get up. Come with me right now. Come with me right now. Get up. Get up. You're coming with me." At first, I thought she was joking. And at first, I thought it was like she saw him from afar, thought he was fine. Came into the car, was like, "You're coming with me. You're coming with me." Because he was just like, chill, chill, chill. So I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cute. Like, he's fine. Okay, period, sis. But, like, not too much." But then she gets rowdy. She's like, "Get out the car. Get out the car." And yanks this full-grown size man and yanks him out the car. So I'm like, oh, y'all know each other. Takes him out the car. Bella, my car, is here. Her car is here. I'm T-boned in. I cannot move. There's a car in front of me. So all I can do is sit and look in my rear view at her just beating his ass. Just beating his ass. And I'm like, I turn my music down so I can hear what's being said. I can't hear nothing, but just going. And I'm like, what the heck? I didn't have the word, like, I didn't have the words that happened so fast, and I cannot move. So I'm sitting here, waiting for her to finish his beating. Finally, they start to back up. They pull up beside me. I'm looking like this. And he goes, and they drive off. And I just didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Because clearly that's your girl. We talked about cheating. We talked about red flags. We talked about green flags. He had passed a lot of, like, he had a good head on his shoulders, I thought. We talked about cheating in 30 minutes. We talked about emotional versus physical cheating. And she picked him up and yanked him out of the passenger side. And they drove off, and then he texted me, "What are you doing?" What am I doing? I'm coping. I'm done with men. Especially light skins. I can't. I cannot make this up. I cannot make this up. Imagine, first date with a man. You hit it off. Great energy. Date runs long. And you have a graduation party to get to. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, you want to come with me to my homegirl's graduation party? He's like, okay, yeah, sure. But I don't want to show up empty-handed, so we stop at the Target. Another green flag, because we've been hitting it off. Okay, great. We stop at Target. He gets her a card. We go to the graduation party. I introduce him to my friend. Cool. We go to my car. We're getting into my car. He's saying, like, oh, yeah, can you drop me off at the mall? Da-da-da-da, like, whatever. Fine, because he allegedly Ubered an hour to get to me because he lives far out, not in the city. This man gets in my car. All of a sudden, a woman comes up out of the blue. I don't know where this woman was. She comes up and she yanks open my passenger side door. She's like, what the F are you doing? Get up. Come with me right now. Come with me right now. Get up. Get up. You're coming with me. At first, I thought she was joking. And at first, I thought it was like she saw him from afar, thought he was fine. Came into the car, was like, you're coming with me. You're coming with me. Because he was just like, chill, chill, chill. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cute. Like, he's fine. Okay, period, sis. But, like, not too much. But then she gets rowdy. She's like, get out the car. Get out the car. And yanks this full-grown size man and yanks him out the car. So I'm like, oh, y'all know each other. Takes him out the car. Bella, my car, is here. Her car is here. I'm T-boned in. I cannot move. There's a car in front of me. So all I can do is sit and look in my rear view at her just beating his ass. Just beating his ass. And I'm like, I turn my music down so I can hear what's being said. I can't hear nothing, but just going. And I'm like, what the heck? I didn't have the word, like, I didn't have the words that happened so fast, and I cannot move. So I'm sitting here, waiting for her to finish his beating. Finally, they start to back up. They pull up beside me. I'm looking like this. And he goes, and they drive off. And I just didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Because clearly that's your girl. We talked about cheating. We talked about red flags. We talked about green flags. He had passed a lot of, like, he had a good head on his shoulders, I thought. We talked about cheating in 30 minutes. We talked about emotional versus physical cheating. And she picked him up and yanked him out of the passenger side. And they drove off, and then he texted me, what are you doing? What am I doing? I'm coping! I'm done with men. Especially light skins. I can't.
Story time about the worst date that I've ever been on my entire life. In his car, he's not talking. He's literally not talking. I'm trying to make small talk. He's freaking weird. I'll say something, he'll say something weird in response. I can't even bring myself to fake laugh. Like, why'd you say that? Please take it back. So it's just really weird. And I asked him, I was like, can I see your phone so I can play some music? And he was like, yeah, here you go. He hands it to me. I get on his Apple Music. Every single playlist is named after me and has my picture as the cover picture. All of them. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, am I gonna get home today? I don't know. I really don't know anymore. So I act like I don't see it. And then he's like, did you see? Did you see my playlist? I was like, I saw him. Then he takes me go-kart racing. He wouldn't tell me where he was taking me. So I was like, he's gonna take me to the woods and kill me. Like, he's my stalker. Nah, he takes me go-karting, which is just a thing in itself. We get there, they're closed. So we sit in his car for 30 minutes till they open, which he's not talking, so I get on my phone, right? Wrong. He starts looking over at my phone. He's like, who are you texting? Who are you talking to? Now, you don't know me. You don't know. I don't have to tell you who I'm talking to. And if I did tell him who I was talking to, he'd get all butthurt. What do you want me to say? I'm texting other boys. I'm texting my hoes right now. But if I said that, you get all butthurt. So maybe mind your own, huh? Then he takes me to Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. But also first date, really? Anyhow, we get there. He spills mild sauce all down his white hoodie. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like, I'll get napkins. And he was like, no. He gets out of the car, slams the door, leaves me in there to eat my Taco Bell. So I'm just eating my Taco Bell while he's in the bathroom for like 15 minutes, clean himself up. Comes back out with a smudged round stain. He was like, I don't have another hoodie. And I was like, it's okay. Like, he's throwing a fit. And then he was like, wait, I might have a jacket in my back seat. So then he goes back, his trunk. He goes to his trunk, gets this winter coat, puts it on, gets back in the car. I was like, okay, great. And he puts his elbow in my nacho cheese sauce. And I was like, hey, you just put your elbow in my nacho cheese sauce. He was like, are you kidding me? Which I was just like, whoa. So then he goes inside, leaves me in his car to eat my Taco Bell again. I'm already done. By the time he comes back out and starts eating his food, I'm done. So he's just sitting there eating for 30 minutes. We're not talking. We're not. Can't be on my phone because he's a nosy little hoe bag. So then he's like, now I'm going to take you to Six Flags. What? We just went go-kart racing and then Taco Bell. Now Six Flags? Okay. So then we go to Six Flags and he pays to park. He pays $30. He's like, I can't believe I just paid $30 to park at Six Flags. You planned the date. Why are you yelling at me? So then we go into Six Flags. I don't want to be there. I'm trying to hint, like, I'm so tired. Like, I really just need a nap. Like, you picked me up so early this morning. I haven't been getting up till noon every day. He's not taking the hint. He's like, what if you just took a nap in this line and then by the time you woke up, we could go on the ride? He was so weird. And ugly. I'm sorry. That's not nice. It's real. I'm not being a mean girl. I mean a real girl here. So then we get in line for another ride. And who's behind me? Directly behind me, but 3 people from my school. 3. And so I tell him, I was like, hey, don't turn around. There's people from my school behind us, and I'm not really friends with them. And he was like, I'm going to stare at them. And I was like, no, you're not. Don't be a freak. And then he was like, I'm just going to stare at them until they get uncomfortable and look away. Which I'm like, I'm going to kill myself. What if I just shoot myself right now? I don't want to be seen with him. I don't need them thinking that we're together. Like, at most, they can think we're cousins. I'm trying to distance myself away from him. He's buddy right up next to me no matter how far I scoot away. I'm up against the rail and he's up on me. And I'm scared for my life. Then we finally get on the ride. Who are we sitting next to? But of course, those 3 people. There's no way they didn't see me with him. There's no way they didn't know we were on a date because he was so freaking touchy-feely with me. So then we go on another ride. He puts his hand out for me to hold. And I was like, I shove it in my pocket as fast as I can. And I was like, sorry, my hands are really cold. And then he was like, you don't have to make excuses. Obviously, I do. Obviously, you're making me make excuses, putting your hand out like I want to hold it or something. Then we go on this last ride. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do more than this. So we get on a ride. I have my back pushed against the wall so he can't put his arm around me because he's so close to me I can smell him, and it is not a good smell. So I was just like, he can't put his arm around me if he can't get his hand behind me. he tries his best. He starts going, ooh, he makes a breakthrough behind my back, has his arm around me, and I guess he could see by the look of my face, which I was just like, he was like, wait, is it okay if I put my arm around you? And I was like, well, it's already there, you already did. What's the point asking now? So then finally I was just like, we get off this ride, I was like, I'm ready to go home, I'm tired, I'm so tired, sorry. And he was like, well, I had a really nice dinner planned for us after this with your favorite food, chicken Alfredo. And I was like, it's not my favorite food. And he was like, your sister lied to me. She told me chicken Alfredo was your favorite food. He pulls out the messages. She was like, I don't know, she likes chicken Alfredo, kind of. He's arguing with me about how this is my favorite food. My sister didn't even say that was my favorite food. She said I liked it. And I was like, sorry, like, I just feel kind of sick and tired. Like, could you just take me home? He was like, well, my buddy isn't going to be home until 9 o'clock tonight. So I would just be alone at his house if you don't hang out with me longer. And I was like, not my monkeys, not my circus. Get in the car, and then he makes me get out of the car to take a picture with him. He parked all the way out in BFE. It's the longest walk. We're walking, we're not talking. We're not. So we get to his car, and he's like, can you get out and take a picture with me really fast? Which I'm like, why couldn't we take a picture in the car? But whatever. Take a picture. I'm literally like, because I cannot pretend to be happy when I'm not. I just can't. I can't. So we get back in the car, and he's like just staring at me, and I'm like trying to not look at him because I'm not trying to get kissed. And so I was like, I'll put my address in your phone right now. And so I do. And then he's just sitting there like, and I was like, drive, take me home. Let's go. We get back up to my house and we get to my gate, and I get out, I hop out the car to get the gate, and I was like, you just leave me here. I'll walk back, which I have a crazy long driveway. So like, you know, I want it out of there. And he was like, no, that's so rude. I have to walk you up to your front door and meet your parents. I was like, my parents are home. They're not home. You can't meet them, sorry. And I didn't want him walking all the way up to my front door because like my bedroom door kind of is just like on the side of the house. And I was like, you can just park up next to my bedroom door so you don't have to walk. So he pulls up to my bedroom door, still gets outside of the car to walk me out, and gives me the world's longest hug, which is a stinky boy. He was a stinky boy. And then I pull away, and I was like, okay, bye. And he was like, wait. Like, and gives me like the, and I was like, drive safe. And I run inside to my bedroom. I'm like, great, I escaped. Wrong. He starts yelling my name from my bedroom. Jade! 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 Come back! And I was like, this isn't real. This isn't real. So I run into my mom's bedroom because she actually is home. And I was telling her, he's calling me nonstop, text me like, Jade, come back, come back. And she was like, you probably left something in his car. I was like, I did not leave anything in that man's car. And I was like, he wants me to kiss him. Then he texts me, can I kiss you before I leave? I was like, I don't kiss on the first date. He was like, sorry for even asking. I'm sorry too. So I think he's gone. He goes up to my gate and acts like he can't open it. It's literally just a latch and you just push it open. And he was like, it's fine. I'll just wait here till your mama gets home and she can save me. I was like, no, sir, she won't. She won't save you. Please leave. And he was like, oh, I figured it out. Bye. So then I'm like, okay, great. I can ghost him. He's texting me paragraphs every day. Be like, please don't ghost me. Please don't ghost me. He's getting ghosted. I'm sorry.
Story time on how I just had the worst date and literally shortest date ever with this 38-year-old goofy. We literally get to the place, we order drinks and we order food. The vibe was cool. We were literally talking, vibing for about maybe 15 minutes, and then maybe, I want to say after that, a couple minutes after that, somebody from his job called him, and he came back to the table like 2 minutes later, sat down, and he was like, oh, that was work. I gotta finish something up on this email. Then he literally was emailing for about 20 minutes. Now, I wasn't tripping the first 10 minutes because it was like, okay, I understand, you know, it's work, handle your business, do what you gotta do. It might have just came up. Then it's kind of like, damn, like, you're still emailing? What the fuck are you over there writing? The Bible? Like, I'm so confused. What the fuck is going on? That's so important. Like, let me know something. Do we need to cancel and reschedule? I feel like if he would have just been like, yo, something just came up with work, can we reschedule this, whatever the case would be, I probably would have looked at it a different way and probably would have understood. But for you to just have me sitting there talking to myself and just in my phone, like, that was very rude of you. And not only that, it was inconsiderate as fuck. So as he's on his phone, I get on my phone. So I called my friend, and my friend wasn't in the mood to talk for real. So I asked him, like, bitch, what you got attitude for? And like, I could tell, like, he kind of looked over at me, and I think maybe he thought my tone towards my friend was like coming from him, but it really wasn't. Like, that's just how me and my friends talk to each other, you know. This man literally waits till I get off the phone and he says, you feisty, you too fucking feisty, all that feisty stuff is not necessary. Bitch, first of all, I wasn't even talking to you. So what the fuck are you talking about? Then he goes into asking me questions that he just asked me the night before. He says, oh, what's the name of your wine company? And do you know this other wine company that's in stores? And literally, y'all, when I say we had just talked about this last night. So I'm like, bitch, do you be drunk, high, or is you slow? Like, cause I'm so confused now. So I tell him, I'm like, you don't remember talking about that last night? Y'all, when I say y'all, this man got on defense and that was my key to leave. He said, I be busy. I run businesses. I don't remember everything that happens. I don't remember. Oh yeah, you're tripping. I start putting my gloves and my scarf on, baby. I was getting ready to go. Next thing you know, he calls the waiter or whatever. The waiter ain't even our waiter that he calling. I see our waiter behind us. So I asked him, I'm like, come here, waiter. What the bill? The waiter come over. He like, what's wrong? I'm like, he need the bill. Next thing you know, the waiter man pull out the little thing for him to tap his card or whatever, baby. I was gone before that man could even tap his card, baby. I was out the door walking to my car. And as I'm walking to my car, I was blocking his ass. Cause what the fuck is wrong with you? Bitch, don't you ever in your motherfucking life waste my time like that. Before we even get to wasting time, we're gonna avoid all of that and I'm gonna block your ass now. But ladies, whew, the dating pool has piss in it. And these men are crazy. And it's just like, for you to be 38 and single, I can see why. I can really see why. Something is wrong with you. It's, ugh.
Y'all, these men are getting so bold. God, if this is a batch you have on earth of men, keep them far away from me because I don't want it. I don't want no parts of it. Let me tell y'all how this man tried to like swindle his way into some apartment with me. So I met this guy last Monday on my day off, and you know, he stopped me in my neighborhood. Oh, you're pretty. Let me get your number, whatever. So I gave him my number, and then later on that day, we was on the phone when I got off work, you know, just getting a little acquainted with each other. Like, who are you? Like, how old are you? Da-da-da. Y'all already know. So later on in the middle of the week, I had to, I closed my store, and I usually get home really, really late, like a little after like 11 o'clock. But like, I walk from the train station to my apartment. I do it all the time. It's just one long ass block. It's not like I'm walking like 40 million miles. But he was like, oh, like, let me pick you up from the train station. It's late. I don't feel like you should be walking. I was like, all right, cool. He picks me up and we grab some food. We end up going to like this little Spanish. We got some food and like, you know, we were talking as he's driving and he's like, we're just getting a little bit more acquainted with each other, right? So I thought. So, you know, he's like, I'm gonna put you all up in my business. Like, I'm gonna just tell you who I am and what I come with or whatever. So I'm like, okay, like, what's up? He's like, you know, I take care of my father. You know, my father has dementia. So the first thing, I'm like, oh, it's like, aw. He goes, Dad, you know, that shit is in my family. Everybody got it. My uncle, everybody gets it. My grandmother has it. I was like, oh, my God. First thing that goes in my mind, I'm like, oh, my God, baby, you're next. You're like 40-something. You're next. You are next. And I don't want no parts of that. So then he goes to say, not that I'm making fun of people that has that sickness. I just don't want to have to deal with that. It's a choice, right? So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, he's next. He's going to get that shit. So then he goes, my father is like also schizo. I was like, oh. It's just a lot of mental issues going on in this family. And it's deep rooted. Like, y'all all got it. So, you know, he was like, yeah, like, we have a little problem with the apartment. So, you know, I have to, like, evict my father or something along the line. The story didn't make sense of how he was getting evicted if that's his place and his father was still, I don't know. So I left that alone. I was like, you know, things are going to get better. You know, when that whole speech, like, you know, life is, the hard days don't last. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. That's just me. So he drops me home. I say thank you. The next morning, I'm getting ready for work too. He comes out of nowhere. He's like, so Mona Lisa, how many dates I have to take you on until you start letting me crash at your place? Excuse me? Why do you want to crash at my place? He was just like, oh, like, you see the situation that I'm in or whatever. I'm like, no, like, I don't want you in my house. So that already threw me off. And when like he saw that, I like my tone and everything changed. He was like, I'm just playing. I have plenty of places to go. No, you're not. No, you're not. You don't have many places to go. No, you don't. Like, why is it that somebody that you met under a week, you're asking them, like, when can you crash? That is so crazy to me. Anyway, I didn't bring it up. He left it alone. He dropped me to work the following day. Not to work, I'm sorry, to the train station. So, I had just got my hair done. And my friend was excited to like see my hair, so she FaceTimed me. Mind you, I'm in the car with him. So I was gonna tell my friend regardless, I was gonna call her back. So as soon as I answered the phone, he's like, yo, who you talking to? Excuse me, bitch. We can stop this car right now and I could get in the Uber. Like, you're questioning me, who am I on the phone with? And that's why my friend, I was like, I'm gonna call you back. So I'm like, yo, what was that about? Like, I was like, I don't like stuff like that. Like, don't question me about who I'm on. This is my phone. I pay the bill. So I'm going to talk to anyone I want to. And regardless, when I got on the phone, I don't like being around people when they're on the phone and around people. I think that's rude, too. I was just going to call my friend and be like, hey, babe, I'm going to call you back. But he didn't even give me a chance to do that. So he drops me to the train station and he like apologizes. And then he was like, you know, the problem with me is that I meet a woman on this day. I feel like we should be here by this day. Babe, you don't got to worry about me. I am out of here. I am out of here immediately. So I didn't speak to him for the rest of the day. He's cut off. I don't want to go anywhere with you. So today he just wrote me. He was just like, I miss talking to you. Can you give me a call when you get a chance? I wrote him back. I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm a little busy right now. Have a good day. And that's it. Move in. Babe, are you a squatter? You're squatting? Like, oh my, like, I never, like, when I mean that was so bold, like, what's that, you would have been asking me for money? At your big ass 40-year-old age? No, like that literally made me sick to my stomach. How many dates I have to take you on until you start letting me crash in your house? Absolutely not.
It has finally been long enough that I can safely tell this story. If you are my friend, you already know this tale. So earlier this year, I was dating and I went on a first date with this guy. He was a dentist. He was really cute. We had, honestly, an amazing first date. He tells me on the first date that he's divorced. He's pretty young, though. I'm 30. He was maybe 31, 32. No kids, no shared assets or anything like that. So I just assume they got married young, whatever. On date 2, because it's obviously not polite to ask on the first date, on date 2, I ask him, so, if you don't mind me asking, why are you divorced? Like, you're cute, you're funny. What's going on here? This is the tale this man tells me openly on a second date. He met his ex-wife in dental school at Columbia Dental, by the way, so she's a smart woman. They meet, they start dating, they get engaged, they get married, etc. They were together in total 10 years. About 9 years into their relationship in total, about 6 months after they got married, he decides that she is no longer doing it for him in the sack. So he develops an addiction to Gone Wild on Reddit, where he meets a woman and falls in love with her. He literally falls in love with essentially an OF girl who is also married, by the way, in California. So they develop an online relationship. The wife goes away for the weekend to some conference, and he flies this girl in. He's in New York, I'm in Massachusetts, and this girl's in California, by the way. I'm meeting him in Mass, like he was living in New York. Anyway, he flies her in and cheats on his wife with her that night. The wife finds out on her trip somehow, flies home immediately, and is obviously distraught and says to him, her or me. He picks the other woman. He's, again, telling me this, openly admitting it. He picks the other woman who he has met in person one time. He met this woman in person at this point one time. At this point, he starts getting emotional, and he tells me that he continued to date her for months, like about 6 months in total, this other woman. And it came to the point where she still would not leave her husband for him. Again, she's an OF girl. He's a Columbia dentist. In the end, he starts crying and telling me how much he misses this girl and doesn't even think about his ex-wife. So if you think you got a good man, I just gotta say, you better make damn sure of that.